of this world when it comes to matters football, when it comes to matters sports. Lakini for now, we're going to start through sababu in my panel, I have a well-informed sports expert when it comes to matters rugby. Brian Onyiego is karibu Onyi. Unajua nikiwa campus, back then we used to play basketball and people would say this guy plays rugby. And now tumetana hapa. Ukoaje lakini?
I'm good, I'm well good, and thank you for this opportunity. Let us hope it will be fruitful.
And then Bill Abuom.
Yes.
Ali, mambo ya media kule KRU?
Hali iko sawa. Tunashukuru. Thank you for having us here today.
Kenya Shujaa imefanya mambo yao lakini tutakuwa we'll be talking about Kenya Shujaa later. For now, big match coming up next week. 12th of April, we're having Cabras playing against Homeboys in the finals of the Kenya Cup. Not many people would have predicted that Homeboys would be in the finals, but now they are in the finals. Only a quick wrap-up, a quick recap of the whole season.
I think generally the season was quite competitive, just starting from definitely the top tier teams all the way to championship, nationwide. And for this season, let me just be specific on Kenya Cup. Kenya Cup has been really competitive. Even us seeing Oilers now chasing into the finals, beating KCB last week. I think it's a good sign that competition is really improving in the specific sport.
Yeah, it's been a really competitive season. Having Oilers in the finals, ousting KCB in the semis, it was quite one hell of a game. And of course, Cabras, they are chasing their four-peat. Currently in Kenya, there are only 3 teams that have managed to do that. First was Impala, 1971 to 1974. Yeah. Second was Nondis, 1978 to 1982. They also did it again between 1991 to 1994. Then came KCB, 2017 to 2021. So going into the finals, it's a game of margins. It might be the first for Oilers or the four-peat for Cabras.
When you look at the Oilers this season, they have been wonderful. And now they are facing one of the best, let me just say the best team when it comes to rugby in Kenya. What do you think Oilers are doing best to defeat the likes of KCB?
Definitely may the best team win. Me now, when wearing the cape of definitely my office. But Oilers has really improved, and you can see it's a click. It's a matter of growth. That team, I can say, for the last 3 or 2 seasons, they've been together, really knocking on that door, being thrown out at the semi-finals, year in, year out. But you see, this time round, you can see with the score, 38, was it 38?
31-8.
31-8, yeah. You see, that's a big margin. I wouldn't say maybe KCB were not competitive, but it was more on Oilers had the day. They were in control, full control of the game. So moving on into finals, we expect the same energy. Definitely, Cabras have been preparing. I think that's what they're expecting. So it's a game I could call even guys who are not rugby fans to come and have the experience.
And Bill, sijui kama wewe ulikuwa na predict tutaona Oilers in the finals, because many people like me and other rugby fans would have predicted KCB versus Cabras. Sababu when they were playing the last match of the regular season, we say regular season, right?
Yes.
The last match of regular season, many people are saying, the finals will not be in Nairobi because they were beaten. Walipigwa hiyo game, wakasema final haitakuwa Nairobi, itakuwa naelekea Kichakani. But now the final will be going back to Cabras. Ulikuwa expect something like that?
Just to retaliate what Brian has said, Oilers have been really dominant in this season, having won 9 out of 11 games of the regular season. And remember, when they played KCB in the regular season game, KCB won on the last minute. It was a last-minute try that put KCB ahead. So I wouldn't say I expected, but it was coming. It was a 50-50 thing. But they confirmed it, and now they're in the finals.
And then also kwa screen hapo unaona, if the viewer is also watching, you can see some of the stats there. Kabras, RFC, Menengai Oilers, those are the teams that will be facing each other in the finals. They have won 11, Menengai Oilers 9, lost 0. This team is unbeaten, Kabras, who will beat them. And Oilers have Oilers defeated KCB, among the favorite teams, and they have lost 2 matches. Points 52-47. Biggest win by margin, 137-7. They won against Kisumu, and then also 94 points to 9. That was against Mwamba. Yeah. Kuna zile timu pia zimeshuka. Wenye tuongelee zile timu zimeshuka bana. Wewe umekuwa pale na fixtures na na nini, what did they do?
Let me tell you, I think this year, that's just as I was saying, it was one of the competition was running across from the top 6 to the bottom 6. I think even during the last game, we still had 4 teams that had the possibility of being relegated. Yeah. So there was still competition on that side. Unfortunately, Mwamba and South Coast Forest are the ones who fell. So next season they'll be in the championship. This season definitely it's Most versus Daystar, and definitely when you look at our proceedings, the first 2 teams from the championship level, they go up to our top tier.
You want to add something on that?
Maybe
the relegation.
The relegation battle, it was a fierce one. Looking at the last game day, match day 11, we had quite some upsets. Looking at Strathmore beating Harlequins, Kisumu ousting Nondis, Mwamba bet Blood, but unfortunately it was a matter of numbers. So it has been tough. But Mwamba are going down to the championship. That's, I think, for the first time since 1999 when they play the ESS. So they've been in the Kenya Cup all along, but maybe let's wait and see.
And the good thing about this season is not to see the Daystar team getting promoted, because last season people were saying Patrick Odongo is playing in the, what do you call the second in the championship? Yeah, he's playing the championship, but then again he's shining with the Kenya national team, Kenya Sevens, Kenya national team. Daystar coming in, what are they bringing?
I think it will be. They're going to increase the competition, because definitely when you look at Kenya Cup, all campus sides that's being Strathmore, Kenyatta University. Unfortunately, Koya has dropped. You see, whenever campus sides meet, it's always a derby. So us having Daystar University in the Kenya Cup League, we are sure of additional matches where competition will be quite stiff.
And then in rugby, if I'm going to win this season, there's a big possibility that I'm going to also to win the next season. Ametaja hapa back to back KCB, back to back Kabras, back to back other teams hapa. The level of competition when it comes to the team yenye win title kudominate sana. What wanafanya nini special? Nini Oilers, nini wanafanya special Kabras yenye sisi kama Mwamba ama Impala hatuwezi fikia hiyo level? Because there's a time I was having a conversation with one of the KCB rugby players. Akaniambia, Kisumu ndio wale player Kisumu wanakuja as in it's the heartbeat of Kisumu rugby. Ile Kisumu
RFC.
Yeah, RFC is the heartbeat of Kisumu rugby. But then again, the star players at the end of the day wanna ship to Nairobi. What is happening in Kakamega that we are not doing pale Ngong Road?
Maybe just to be clear, or maybe it's all about professionalism. When you look at Kabras, definitely, and even Oilers, those teams are a bit, I can say the players are semi-pro, because early in the morning by 6 they're in the pitch training. Unfortunately, teams in Nairobi they're not in a position to have that, because when you look at the end of the month, are you in a position to reimburse this player? Are you in a position maybe to have some wages for the players? So unfortunately, a good number of the teams in Kenya Cup are not well sponsored, or rather not sponsored. Most of them are community clubs. So when you look at the corporate teams, that's being maybe KCB, Oilers, Kabras, are you seeing the level of competition? And even when you look at our at our standings, they're on top because most of the players are maybe pro or semi-pro. So this gives them a better hand when it comes to the competition day. Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Ongezea kitu.
on the same breath, he's mentioned community clubs. Fans turning up for a game really motivates players to do a lot. So for the community clubs, the likes of Impala, Harlequins, Nondescripts, whenever we have those derbies, when we have the players, the fans streaming in to cheer on the players, the motivation goes up. So even for the varsity sides, if you look at what KU is doing, KU games are always on top. So for the fans, that's also another factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of the factor, it's part of the media and the communication at the KRU, right?
Yeah.
What's that one unique thing that you guys are doing to make sure the game is up there, to make sure the fans are enjoying and they're getting every information? A unique one. Hiyo kuna picha ambazo labda tunaona, but every federation might be doing the same.
A unique one, maybe going into this season, especially from the playoffs, we've had EABL under their brandship, their brand Tusker coming in as sponsors. So for the playoffs and for the semis, we've seen some full day match experience for fans. It's not all about rugby. After rugby, what next? We have some after party. Before we have some, if you look at our pages for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, we've been having some giveaways for the games. We ask some trivia questions just to keep the fans going, cultivating that rugby culture within the fans. So we are really grateful to Tusker for coming in. And looking at the finals, for instance, it's going to be a big day. It won't be about rugby because actually, to add on to that, we'll be having 2 games on that day. Mm-hmm. They are the championship finals. Yes, Moose and Daystar have been promoted, but we still need to know who is the champion for the championship. So at 1 p.m. we'll be having Moose taking on Daystar. Then at 3 p.m. we have Cabras taking on Oilers. Then after hapo sasa ndo tunaingia sasa live pale. The official Kenya Cup party, after party, proudly sponsored by Tusker.
Onya ametaja kuhusu fixtures and ametaja kuhusu Moose versus Daystar in the finals of the championship. Could decide who will be going on with the bragging rights.
The title, yeah.
Game mbili zitakuwa the same place or different venues?
Yes.
What is the fixtures?
Yes, we've planned the 2 games. The good thing that the 2 teams have agreed. Maybe the host, that is definitely Cabrasa, the host for the finals, and then Masinde Muliro University are the host for the championship. But they've agreed to all host the games at Showground, Kakamega. So we've the timing has not yet been confirmed because on that side there's a lot of rainfall. So maybe early this week we'll be confirming how the weather looks like and we'll see how we'll fix it. The games can go even earlier. You can remember even the semi-finals, we had to push it to 2. Initially it was 3, but the previous days it was raining cats and dogs. So definitely for us, Kenya Rugby Union is player welfare. So we really wish our players to have a smooth surface, or rather a surface that can enable the players to play comfortably.
All right.
So we are here to confirm the timings. I think it will be out probably by Tuesday morning.
By Tuesday morning.
Yes.
Nataka to get deep into the finals and talk matters Oilers versus Cabras. That's the big match that tuna expect on 12th at the Showground, Kakamega Showground, right?
Yes.
But first before we go, but first before we move on, wacha tusikize what happened because coaches and players had something to say. Let's listen to them. Alafu we get into deep analyzing about this game.
We've come a long way by the just looking at how we've just put the young boys together to try and fix something. And today I feel they showed up, but Oilers were just the better team. And I'm looking at now bringing in more younger players to replace. You've seen a couple leaving. Yeah, we need to have younger boys coming in, and it will come. We just need to keep building. We're in a transition period, We just need to keep doing what we're doing. But today, Oilers were just the better team.
We exited well. We put pressure when it was needed. I was really impressed with our defensive line. If I'm correct, I think we had almost 90% of ball possession.
Tactically, the boys have improved a lot. If you ask me if there's space for improvement in my side, a lot of space to improve. So we have a week's break, which will help us work on our tactics and be able to make sure that we refine what we need to do.
Standard, we have to celebrate it. The city has to sing, Oilers, Oilers, all the way till the finals. Yeah, we just analyze the KCB. They are very good at lineouts, and most of their plays is from the lineout. So we only had one job. We had to defend their lineouts.
Today we brought you guys an experience. We have DJs who are going to be playing all through till probably 10 p.m. Before we can go home. But we are really excited. The fans are excited.
It's a good game and a big game. I think we need to talk more about rugby. Look at the guys, you can see the stadium, so many guys, and even the venue. Like you look at Queens, even the place, the bar area, the improvement on the course. Maybe next time the sponsors can, for the big games, we can maybe get a better venue.
Semi-finals there, great experience from the fans, great experience also for the players. KCB, but first KCB against Oilers. Tumeona coach akisema pia, you know, the coach came again and defended himself and they said, we having some of they're in a transition moment. They are bringing in some young guys, they're bringing in not really experienced players, but they are doing something. So we should give them time. But bana kwa game na kwa competition wezi sema nakupea time alafu game mwingine anasonga.
Definitely as the head coach KCB has mentioned, like indeed Oilers had a good game. You could see even when you look at how their forwards were really running into the KCB players, and it was a matter of consistency. They did it for the whole 80 minutes. You see, KCB, yes, they are good defenders, but you know, whenever your opponent has the ball more time than you, definitely, this guy is a person who has the chances to score. Mm-hmm. So probably I could say as the head coach KCB has said, they're in a transition program, a transition process. So maybe there has been an exodus of a good number of players, maybe retiring. I don't know if it's injuries. So probably in their team, they could be lacking some chemistry or something that maybe enabled Menengai Oilers beat them.
And one of the Oilers players, amesema, they analyzed well the squad of KCB. They know their weakness. They know their they know where they usually have that strongholds. Na amezungumzia kuhusu layout. Walisoma hii game before ishe. Kwa nini wangebadilisha game? Sababu tunajua you guys are good on layout. Tumehesabu mmefika 14. Tumengoja hadi mmefika 31.
Okay, you know, for rugby it's a game of margins, eh? So the moment by halftime you're trailing by, let's say, 25, getting to catch up will be quite hard. Then also to mention, this is a repeat of the 2021-2022 Kenya Cup finals. 2022-2023, somewhere there. Yeah. Oilers beat KCB at the Den again to qualify for the finals. So maybe for KCB at that time, rugby it's a transitional sport. So you get, at times you might have that mass exodus of players, but again, it's also a quick sport to learn because yes, they were beaten by Oilers then, but they qualified for the finals again last season. That's KCB. So as much as they say it was a big win for Oilers, KCB also, let's watch the space. Rugby is a quick sport to learn. So
maybe just to add on that, I think, as the players mentioned about the lineouts, I think cheers or kudos to Gibson Wiru, who managed to study and analyze their opponents, because definitely in the sport of rugby, whenever you have an upper hand or when it comes to the set pieces, that's the lineouts, the scrum downs, the racks, maybe the contact area, definitely you have an upper hand of winning the game. So kudos to him. The boys were very physical in the contact areas. I think in terms of discipline, they were really disciplined. They didn't have penalties. I think that's what forged them to having a win at the semis.
Na tumeona certain fan hapo. Mwanadada amefurahia. Amesema tumepigwa lakini tunaendelea na sherehe until 10 p.m. Hiyo ni semi-finals.
Yeah, that was for the semi-finals.
Finally sasa.
Looking into the finals and looking at what Tusker has been able to do for the previous years, we are expecting something bigger. For ardent fans of rugby, looking at maybe last year Safari Sevens, the after party on both days, it was one for the books. Looking at the finals, we don't want to maybe preempt. Acha mafans wakuja jione. Itabamba.
Onye, what's so special about this final? Usiniambie ni juu hila star na prana.
I think
what's so special about this final?
First of all, these are two. There's a new team into the finals. That's one thing. The other one, we have the backup of Tusker. Tusker has really come in as our partners. Definitely, they've already announced that it's going to be a fun experience. So we'd wish everyone to come in. Let us give rugby the mileage it deserves in our nation. I think with the support of Tusker, definitely they are planning to have a number of musicians, a number of good DJs. That is basically during the after party. So tell a friend to tell a friend, they come support this sport. Or even if he happens to be a table tennis fan, encourage everyone to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything special that we should be expecting from this final, apart from the entertainment bit? Ameongea kuhusu entertainment bit.
Other than the entertainment bit, looking at the previous year's finals, maybe even last year, it was a big win for Cabras. But for this time, Oilers are really keen into carrying. You've had a fan say they want fans to sing Oilers all the way up to the end. So going into the finals, it might be an upset. It might be, as we've said, it might be the first for Oilers or the fourth for Cabras. So that's another thing that might make it really special, the rivalry. And then also, again, it's a Rai derby. Both teams are sponsored by the Rai family. So it's also a Rai derby. That's another point to note.
Mm-hmm. Wanafuraha kweli. Anyway, Onyi.
Yes.
Hawa Oilers unafaa wafanye nini ku make sure wamepiga hii team? Nini inakaa ngumu lakini si ngumu. Rugby kuna kitu tunasema ni ngumu.
Definitely, whenever two soldiers are in the battlefield, I believe all of them are prepared. They definitely have their own weapons. So when you look at rugby generally, it's a contact sport. So it's a matter of who will study another person's weakness, who will be more physical, who will have the right mentality towards achieving what they have. So I wouldn't say on the physical beat, both teams are quite physical. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
When you look at the athleticism, all their backlines are very fast players. They have good number 10s. When you look at Cabras, Dukisa, who started at the semis as the number 10, he really helped manage Nondis, and that's how their squad went all the way. When you look at a team like Oilers, they are number 9, Samson Onsombu. You see, he's very structured when it comes to passing. His runners are really getting to those holes, are really running through the holes. So I think it's worth a contest. It's also a contest. That's why I'm saying, may the best team win.
Unasema hapo utaki
kuegemea upande.
Unatoroka sana. Oilers wanafanya nini? Wenyewe wanatoroka.
Okay, I think
strategy, yeah?
He's spoken a lot on Oilers, maybe at going to
Cabras.
Yeah. Cabras, maybe for Cabras, dominating the game from the very first minute. Looking at the regular season when they played with Nondis, the same team they've played in the finals, in the semi-finals. In the regular season, the game ended 7-3 in favor of Cabras. Mind you, it was played at the Forest, at their own home turf. So it shows that if they get a team that is really pricking them or is trying to get into their spaces, they might they might loosen the ball a bit. But if they begin by dominance from the first minute, look at the team they played. Nondis, in the regular season, it ended 7-3, but come to the semi-finals, it ends at 45-6. So if it's all a matter of dominance. If they get into the game early, settle early, go for those points, take the lead early. That is what might propel them to victory.
Onyi finali mbona isiletwe Nairobi? Ni swali yenye fans wanasema hii finali mbona isikuja Nairobi tuone nini?
Yeah, but definitely, the Kenya Rugby Union, definitely we have our regulations, and our regulations clearly states that the team that wins leads the in-season points is the team who will host. So Cabras are the ones who finished first with a total of 52 points. So definitely they have the home advantage. So maybe if time goes, maybe the regulations might be changed. But as for now, we are strictly following the regulations whereby the game will be hosted by Cabras.
Hatuwezi petition when a neutral ground. Like I would.
On that note, we have several competitions. There's the Kenya Cup. Currently, even as you're speaking, we have the ESS finals being played at KCB versus Oilers. Then we also have the Enterprise Cup. The Enterprise Cup is a repeat of the same, Cabras versus Oilers. But for that, now that lies in the hands of the union. The union is the one that hosts the Enterprise finals. So coming into maybe sometime 25th, though we haven't really confirmed the venue yet, it's to be communicated. 26th, yeah, it's to be communicated sometime later on. That will be played on a neutral ground, because on that side we are the owners of the competition. Yeah? We are the custodians of the competition.
Okay, for that note, we are going to take a short break, but usiondoke, because we are going also to discuss matters Shujaa, because kule Shujaa naelewa walipiga Ireland, wakapiga pia France. What are we expecting from this team led by Kevin Wambua? Usiondoke, we have a lot to discuss when it comes to matters rugby.